No one in the town of Ridgeway, Montana, talked about why Ethan Cole hated God. They only talked about how deeply he hated him. If someone mentioned church, Ethan walked away. If someone said, "God bless you," he smirked. And if anyone spoke the name of Jesus, something hardened in his eyes, as if an old wound had been touched. The strangest thing about Ethan Cole was this. Every Sunday night at exactly 2:17 a.m., he woke up screaming. There was no alcohol, no drugs, no dream he could remember. Just the same scream, the same cold sweat, and the same whisper in the dark that he could never understand. And the man who openly said there was no God kept asking the darkness a question. Why won't you leave me alone? Ethan had not always been like this. Years ago, he had been the kind of man people trusted with their children. A firefighter, a volunteer, a man who prayed before every meal. Now he lived alone at the edge of town, in a small wooden house surrounded by pine trees and silence. No photographs on the walls, no Bible, no crosses. Only one strange object rested on a kitchen shelf, a burnt, half-melted wooden cross. He did not remember keeping it or finding it, but every time he tried to throw it away, his hands froze. That night, the night everything truly began, Ethan woke again at 2:17 a.m. But this time, the house was not silent. There was knocking, slow, heavy, intentional. Not on the front door, on his bedroom door. Ethan sat up, heart pounding. "No," he whispered. "Not again." The knocking stopped. He grabbed his flashlight and opened the bedroom door. The hallway was empty, but at the far end, near the front door, a man stood barefoot in the freezing winter air, wearing simple clothes, untouched by the cold. "Get out," Ethan said. The man did not move. He looked at Ethan with a calm understanding that unsettled him. "I didn't come to hurt you," the man said gently. "Then you came to the wrong house," Ethan replied bitterly. The man took a step forward, and Ethan felt a strange pressure in his chest. Not fear, but recognition. "Who sent you?" Ethan demanded. "No one," the man said. "I came because you called." Ethan snapped that he had called no one. "You've been calling for years," the man replied. "Every night at 2:17. The flashlight slipped from Ethan's hand. The man's gaze drifted to the burnt cross on the shelf. "You kept it," he said. "Don't touch that," Ethan shouted. The man didn't move. "You blamed me for the fire," he said quietly. The room spun. "You weren't there," Ethan screamed. "You watched them die." Years of buried grief erupted. The flames, the screams, the child he couldn't reach. Ethan collapsed to his knees, sobbing that he had prayed and been ignored. The man knelt beside him. "I didn't ignore you," he said. "Then where were you?" Ethan cried. The man's voice trembled with pain. "I was in the fire with them." Ethan shook his head, unable to accept it. "I never promised a life without pain," the man continued. "I promised I would never leave you." The man stood and walked toward the door. Before leaving, he turned and said, "If I show you the truth, will you still hate me?" And then he was gone. No sound, no open door, only silence. On the floor lay the wooden cross, no longer burnt, but whole and unbroken. Ethan stared at it, trembling. For the first time in years, he whispered a name he had sworn never to say again. "Jesus?" Outside, church bells rang. Ethan looked at the clock. It was 2:17 a.m. Who was the man who entered Ethan's house? And what truth about the fire is he about to reveal that could completely destroy everything Ethan believes about God, pain, and love?